Not the Footy Show.
Now, before I ask each of these boys to whisper their secret, let me say that I know that long after I have retired and I look back on this show, the memory of this secret will always be one of the brightest ones in my whole entire time.
Oh, have we got secrets? I'll tell them that much. Welcome to the Recruitment Whisperers, not the Footy Show. Forward sizzle.
Done. Hey, Josh Reynolds, mate. I mean, do you remember what he did at the Tigers?
G'day everyone, welcome to episode 275 of Not the Footy Show. It's time to whisper, Cocksmith. I'm Warrick Nicolson, that is Robb Cox. This is the Recruitment Whisperers, number 6, exclusively not seen on foxsports.com.au.
No way. No way, baby.
Afford us.
Although we're available.
Yeah, love Fox Sports. Love anybody who wants to pay us to come on board. I know there are a few. Sorry, it's got some microphone issues. There are some listening apps out there that get Not the Footy Show on board. We've proven in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah,
we can actually talk every week. I wouldn't necessarily look at the last 3 years as a great example of that.
No. We've definitely made more sense in the last 6 weeks than we ever have. So
wow,
go figure.
It's over 100 episodes with you on board, so I think it's about 120 now. So
wow,
solid.
That check will come through one day.
Yeah, you just got to pay off your dinner debts first. Speaking of paying off debts, David Klemmer. No, I'm speculating there. David Klemmer's got a new deal with the West Tigers, a new 3-year deal, probably for a little bit less than what he probably was getting at the Knights, but I'm sure it is very, very lucrative. And Jackson Hastings.
What do you reckon it's worth? Let's just stop on Klemmer for a minute. What do you think he's getting paid?
I would say he would have been on 7 or 8s at Newcastle.
Where's he now? Is he? I think he's somewhere around 5.
I reckon he's still on 6 or 7s. They've got money to burn. They needed to get him, and they've made it happen. And they've also cleared off Hastings from their books, which may or may not be a mistake for the West Tigers, because he's off to the Newcastle Knights on a 3-year deal, I believe it is. Let me just bring that up. 3-year deal. He's only 26. He's only got 63 NRL games under his belt. And I just want to give you a couple of quotes, Foxsmith, in relation to the moves. This is Peter Parr, the head of football at the Knights. He says, "We are delighted to have Jackson secured. He complements our playing roster and adds further depth to our halves. And he makes Tyson Gamble celebrate delightfully." Oh, sorry, that's not there. With the additional bonus of being a competent goal kicker. Jackson at the stage of his career where he's coming into his prime, and I believe his best years are ahead of him. David Klemmer, on the other hand, says, "I can't wait to rip into pre-season training. I'm really excited about what's ahead for us. I know Tim Sheen's well through our time together with the Kangaroos. That's why this signing should never have been a surprise. And there is not a lot to like about where the club is headed. I want to make a difference here, and that includes having some of the younger players who haven't played a lot of first grade yet." Quick note from Tim Sheen's. We all know what David can do. He's been one of the most dominant forwards in our game for many, many years. There's some lovely things to unpack here. One sounds very keen to arrive, and the other one's, for some reason, I don't see the comment from Hastings. He may have said something in the days since, but there's been nothing from him. But I want to start with one thing here, Cocksmith, and that is the Newcastle Knights were so desperate to get rid of David Klemmer that he didn't even get his own article saying goodbye. His release was tacked onto the bottom of that Jackson Hastings release. Wow. Aaron O'Brien says, "Don't let the door hit you on the way out, son."
Yeah. I think this is a fairly good deal for both. My only caveat to this is I hope that Hastings does recover from his broken leg, and will be the same as he was. It's pretty nasty break there. And I hope that Klemmer turns up and is angry David, like he used to be at the Bulldogs.
Motivated Klemmer,
So that's what we want to see. Look, if all the reports are true, apparently Hastings and Bateman, who is almost a certainty to go to the West Tigers, don't get along, and didn't look like they would get along ever again. Probably a little bit like Radley and Bentley from the World Cup. Allegedly, apparently. So they needed to clear Hastings out. Hastings is a polarising character. I think you either love him or you hate him, and the players are pretty much the same in thought with him. So to keep Bateman happy, I mean, look, the Tigers are going to have a good forward pack next year.
Let's just read it out to you.
Yeah, just give us who they are.
Klemmer, Coruscant, Itakomanu, Law, if he's coming back from his ACL, Papali'i, Twile at lock, and your bench is Offengowie, Polo, Simpkin the hooker, and then a bunch of young fellas fighting it out for that other spot. Now, that's if Bateman doesn't arrive. If Bateman arrives, your forward pack is Klemmer, Coruscant, Itakomanu, Bateman, Papali'i, and Twile.
Good forward pack.
It's pretty good. I don't think you start Offengowie at lock if you've got the other two in the back row. I think you bring Offengowie and play him in the middle as your number one prop off the bench, not at lock. As good as his numbers were last year, I didn't think he was that effective playing those long minutes. It's a forward pack that you can get behind if you're a Tigers fan, because the upgrades that Tim Sheens has made here, even if they don't get Bateman, are very, very good.
Yeah, I agree. And look, the other side of this coin is that forward pack. I never doubted the Tigers forwards, even last year. I thought they were right. I thought they worked hard, did the job, lacked class, lacked some cohesion as well. They've had a little bit of ups and downs with their coaches. In the last couple of years, the coach was walking on death row for at least 12 months. 2
or 3 years. Really.
Maguire.
We did a podcast. Sorry, we did a podcast 12 months to the day after one saying he was going to last a week.
Yeah,
and he lasted.
Yeah, and I think he won a game and then got a stay of execution and whatnot. But here's the tricky thing for Coach Sheens, and incoming coach Benji, is that this forward pack seemingly will leave them with no excuses for their halves. None.
Yeah, exactly right.
So Luke Brooks, who I don't rate, he's going to have nowhere to hide now. And same with Dewey. Dewey wants to make $900,000 a year. Well, my reaction to Dewey is you're going to have to do twice as good as you're doing. Because
I was talking to another Tigers fan this week. Just let him walk. If he wants that money,
absolutely,
let him walk. Honestly, there's just no way, no how you can say that he is worth that kind of money.
He's not getting 900. Tim Sheens is too smart for that. He's not getting 900 because Tim Sheens is infinitely smarter than we are put together when it comes to rugby league. He knows by building a forward pack like he's built or building,
and he's done it before.
The halves will have nowhere to hide. He knows this. He knows there will be no excuses for the halves. If the forwards kick off the way we think they could kick off, by round 8, we will absolutely know the
identity of what the Tigers is. Are they a team that Brooks? Are they a team that can do anything with those guys in the halves? Is the question, because the forward pack should be able to stand up, and Coruscant should be doing enough at hooker to keep him in matches. I think they got better value, obviously, out of Hastings last year than they got out of Brooks. But I reckon Tim Sheens wrote down Dewey's little hissy fit when he complained about, I'll go play New South Wales Cup if I can't play 5'8", blah, 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 blah. I think he would have noted that down. So, they also got rid of Jock Madden, who was not up to first grade, and I can't believe he thinks he's going to play first grade at the Broncos. Absolutely hilarious. But anyway.
He may, but it will be through injury.
Fair point. No, that's not what he said in the interview. He goes, I'm going to be there every week. Well, alluded to that. Anyway, he's moved on. And it's now a question of Brooks and Dewey, can they do anything? Look, I'm not going to say that the Tigers are top 8 bound, but they're going to be much more manageable to watch if you're a Tigers fan in 2023.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I think, I can't see them in the bottom 2 or 3 with that forward pack. If Bateman comes in as well, and if all things being equal and we get, 80% return on their playing, so each player plays 80% of the games, through injury or suspension or whatever it may be, I think they're knocking on the door of the top 10 of the comp.
Well, I think it's pretty fluid. Teams like 7 through 14 is pretty fluid for next year. So,
but I believe they're going to need their halves to really lift to get them in that top 8, and I just don't think they've got that at the moment. That's not to say that they're not going to have that in 2024, because if they get rid of Dewey and Brooks,
that's
they're going to have some money. Yeah. Or they still need 2 players. They need 2 players, not just one.
The Knights, speaking of halves, they look like they were going to head into 2023 with Adam Clune at 7 and Tyson Gamble at 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed pretty quickly, because Joey Johns has been quoted as saying that Hastings is being brought to be an out-and-out 7. That's the deal.
And does Ponga then go to 6?
But Joey's saying he wants Ponga at 6 as a running 6.
Okay, so who's your fullback?
That's the question. Does Dane Gagai get his long-awaited chance at fullback again?
No,
I think he's too slow. But he wants to play. He want to play fullback for ages. Do you give the ball to Bradman Best and say turn into a fullback? What do you do?
See, this is where it gets confusing for me, because I don't think even Bradman Best is a centre. I think he's a winger. I actually think he's a winger. Okay. He's a Brett Plowman style winger. What they needed was
Bailey Hodgson.
Yep, I don't know.
He's related to Josh Hodgson, apparently. The other one is Dom Young could play fullback.
Yeah.
Christian Malapalingi, that's one they've noted, could also play fullback. I just don't see how you're a stronger team putting Ponga to 6 when you can play Gamble there.
Look, Ponga has dabbled in the 6 before and didn't come up great. He's a couple of years older now. The big issue for Ponga, he gets knocked out when he lays his head on a pillow, and the defense the defense that you have to do as a 5'8" is usually a lot more than as a fullback. So, and players generally get knocked out while defending, not while attacking. So that could be an issue. We'll have to see if his body's up to that, which is a worry for a bloke that's only 24 years old. But I guess we suck it and see. I mean, that's the only way to do this, is to give the guy moments or games at 6 and see where we go. Jackson Hastings, for them, if his body comes back to the way it was at the beginning of 2022, he's a really good buy for the Knights.
And he's a touch the ball every tackle kind of halfback as well. He's not someone who sits back and waits, which is why I don't think you've got to play Ponga at 6.
Yeah. I'm tossing up who got the better deal here. Who got the better deal in your mind?
Tigers.
You think the Tigers got the better deal? You think offloading?
What worries me about Newcastle is if this is to make it so you can move Ponga to 6, I don't think that makes them better. Whereas I think Ponga would have stayed, I reckon, at 1 if it was a Clune and Gamble combo.
Yeah, they couldn't go into this year though with Clune and Gamble.
I'm with you, but I don't think Clune and Ponga or Ponga and Gamble is a better halves combination.
I'll tell you when the Knights will be better. In my opinion, only my personal opinion, when they get rid of their coach, when the pressure is off, and we're not seeing that scramble from the coach that we can see with a desperate coach. I think the Knights will be better.
Well, his old chestnut is, he had a young team, they've got to learn. They made the finals the first 2 years he was there. They didn't learn much then. What are they going to learn now?
Yeah.
Like, really, what are they going to learn? What are you teaching them?
When they lose Klemmer, the Knights, tell me who's taking his spot.
It'll be Fifita brothers will be up the 2-man up front. And then you got
they've only got 2 front
runners. They signed Jack Etherington.
Oh, Jack. Yeah,
Jack. They also signed Adam Elliott to play lock. So they're not going to be missing so much in the middle as. And the thing about Klemmer in the last year or so is that the stats are there, but the team performance hasn't been. And it's the old thing like an Offengower, which I said before. His stats were there last year. But did he make the Tigers better? No, he didn't. His defense on the line was horrible. And they're things that stats don't necessarily always show up. You can have 20 runs a game and miss 2 tackles in your line and you lose the match because of that.
Yeah, speaking of Jack Hetherington, I'd love to see Jack just settle down and play football. I think he could be anything.
Is he going to do that?
I know I don't know. I don't know if he can. I don't know. Is he one of these guys that just has, as soon as he crosses the sideline, he has the red mist? I don't know. But if he can turn that dial down from 12 down to about 8.5 and not get sent off so much and not, try and kill people when he's defending.
Slight issue. Slight consideration.
But if he can filter that a little bit, Jack Hetherington could be anything.
Okay.
And I'll tell you how good Jack Hetherington is, right? Jack Hetherington is so good, or has the potential to be so good, that you've had Phil Gould give him a go twice.
Yeah.
And just decided we can't do this anymore. But then gets because we know AOB is desperate, then gets a chance at the Knights. And who knows? At some stage, it might just click for him. He's going to get to a certain age, and I think we all do it as adults. We get to a certain age and things change, and we just go, hold on, what was I doing 2 years ago? Crazy.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let's hope for Jack's sake. Because I really think I've seen bits and pieces in his football that is like, whoa, dude, you are a player. But then in the next 10 minutes, he'll come out and try and take someone's head off just above the eyebrows,
Now, I'm not someone who's usually got a soft spot for Tyson Gamble, but he's got to be absolutely spewing, doesn't he?
Yeah, you'd think he'd be a little bit miffed, but there's no reason that. I'm with you. I don't think the Ponga thing is going to play. I don't think it's going to pay off. And when it doesn't,
2 weeks, and
Gamble will slide straight back into that team. And Gamble was probably a little bit underutilized and underappreciated at the Broncos. I think he's probably better than what they gave him, and he's getting an opportunity. So yeah, you can be peed off, but you'll get back into the first grade side.
He's a ball player, and I like that outside of Hastings, and then combining with a Ponga. I just think it's a better mix. And I thought Reynolds did his best work at times with Gamble there. Anyway, David Fifita, free agent for next season. The rumours about him going to Canberra have turned into discussions, apparently. Yep. Does David Fifita improve his football going to Canberra from the Gold Coast?
I think he will. I think Ricky's going to a bit more of a taskmaster.
Yeah.
I think Ricky will drive him a little bit harder and demand. You know what Ricky's like, mate. Ricky gets what he wants, or you're gone.
Correct.
And every player knows that. You know that before you go down to Canberra, that if I don't give Ricky the player that he wants, if I don't turn into the player that Ricky wants me to be, I'll be looking for a new gig. And Ricky's going to get him for a pretty bargain price.
That's the question. How long do you sign Fifita for? Do you go multi-year deal, or do you just say, come down, we'll sign you 2 years, all right? And will it be a player option or team, whatever it is, for the second year? And Ricky just goes to him, show us. You show us what you got that year, and we'll double, or not double, but we'll go back to the money you got at the Gold Coast.
2 years with a club option, I would think would be the perfect scenario for the club.
I don't think you go like a 5-year deal or anything, and you don't want to invest that with D Fifita. But the potential is there. The ability has been on display. He was ho-hum at the World Cup. I'll be honest with you. He looked like he wasn't fit. But hopefully a good off-season for him is good for him. I'm with you on the Ricky Stuart thing versus the Holbrook thing, and this is not that we've been coached by either person. It's just the way you sense it is that Fifita showed some moments at the Titans, but in other games it was just like, yep, I guess I'll go out there and play. And that's not going to be accepted at Canberra. They did, however, make a move to Gold Coast. It seems like they just every year they decide, where we could really improve and we're going to make a big step as a team is signing a ho-hum centre on a big money contract. They did it with Patrick Herbert last year.
Hold on. Who's your
ho-hum
ho-hum
centre? Shoopy, shoop, dop, ding, dang, dang, whatever the name of that New Zealand band is. He's got a massive deal to go to the Titans. He'd only just re-signed with the Bulldogs. But Gus knows. Gus watches the same games we do. He knows he had the Ferrari on the wing, and for some reason he had the Datsun not passing him the ball inside him. Shoop is a player who looks at his stats at the end of the game. I can guarantee you that wholeheartedly. He is the king of the inside the attacking 20 fourth tackle run from dummy half that has no discernible advantage for his team other than to add another run meter stat to your figures, and Gus has just gone, oh, the Titans want you. Well, we've got Paul Alamoti and Gerald Skelton who are coming through our system that are going to cost us like barely over $100,000 each. You may walk on, young Shoopy, because this is what's happening.
What kind of coin was Shoop on? Any
He'd
intel
only
on that?
been there for a year, so I'd say he may have upgraded to like a 200 a year, multi-year deal, maybe.
Does he come from Melbourne
now? No, he developed through the dog system, I think.
Oh, was he?
I don't think he came through Melbourne. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't think he did much at the Bulldogs, mate. And Gus didn't see enough to want to hold on to him and pay him. What's he? He goes to the Gold Coast and
He'll
gets
go
what,
3 to 4. You'd think 350, I'd say. For
good payday.
Deal. Good payday. Good on him. But the Dogs.
I don't think he's going to improve there, and I don't think he's going to improve under Holbrook.
But the same thing with Patrick Herbert a year ago. How'd that turn out for him? Anyway, Gus, another great move. And did you see his tweet the other day, Cocksmith? I know we definitely went on about it.
I haven't been on Twitter for a little while, but
but we went on about it. The fact that the Josh Jackson handshake was all about getting salary cap relief. Remember that?
Yeah, a little bit like the McCullough one.
We'll get to that in a sec. But Gus came out and basically said, "Oh, we've still got heaps of money for 2023."
Yeah.
It's like, hello. He knows what he's doing. I love it. He just rubs it in people's faces. It's fantastic. Andrew McCullough retires. Pretty good career. Yeah, he made the GF in 15 with the Broncos.
Yeah,
played Origin. Good hooker. But he's gone at the Saints now. And the question for you, Cocksmith, being a long-time devotee of the Red V, is it Sullivan versus Little for the 9 with a bit of Moses Mbaye thrown in, or is Hook actually going to go with some?
Is Mbaye still there?
Yeah, multi-year deal. How do you? Now you got me worried that he's not. No, he's definitely still there.
Well,
multi-year deal, mate. Multi-year.
Okay,
one more
wonderful.
Year. He's got one more year. He's got 2023 left.
Great signing. I'd say Jaden O'Sullivan's had a little turnaround, a little change of heart, because he was all but gone. And then all of a sudden, Hook has dragged him into the broom closet and had a little whisper in his ear, and he's come out with renewed faith in the Red V. So I'd say Jaden O'Sullivan is a walk-up start for that.
I reckon he's been told. You train.
Absolutely, he's been told.
You get your body in order, and you bulk up, and you'll be our 9 starting next year. Because I don't think he wants to.
I don't think he wants to play 9, but someone else within the coaching ranks may or may not. In my mind, this may have happened. Someone else in the coaching ranks may have said, "Listen, pull your head in, go and play hooker. Hunt is not getting faster. Okay, he's playing hooker for Australia."
Precisely.
And we can convert him into a hooker a lot more readily than pull him out of halfback at the moment, but it won't be happening in 2023. Go and pay your penance. And
the other thing is, from what I understood, he signed a pretty lucrative re-signing deal with the Dragons anyway. So it's not like he's on, bargain money and has to get a bigger deal elsewhere. He'd be getting good coin at the Dragons. And
I reckon he's probably 7, on 300 or something.
There's a couple other names that we've got to wrap up in a sec, but there's Connor Mulhausen, who's played New South Wales Cup all last year, and there was an article the other day, the Storm of former Storm junior, Halele Finau, who's 22, who basically has come out and said that Hook's told him, train and trial, and you could be in the top 30 if you do well. So there are some options there. I hope it's not Mbaye, even though that's where he should be playing these days. But McCullough retired.
He's a fullback, bro. Mbaye's a fullback. That's why he's on 800 grand a year. He's a fullback.
A few other signings that are just worth noting as we wrap up. Recruitment Whisperers number 6, Jazz Tavanga, who didn't have a contract for 2023. He got a 2-year deal, Cocksmith. He'll be at the Warriors. He's sticking around.
Okay.
Braden Williame.
He would have been a good pickup for someone. He's a
I'm
good
surprised
player,
the market
good off the
wasn't there
bench.
for him. I'm really surprised.
Me too. Maybe he just didn't want to leave New Zealand, mate.
Yeah, he gets a 2-year deal with the Warriors. Gemet Shibasaki joins the Cowboys, if you remember him from a couple of years ago. The Storm continue just to make a mockery of the salary cap, and I'm not saying that they're cheating. I'm just explaining to you that this is what the Storm do.
What have they done?
Remember last year they had Marion Seve on the development list, and they said, we've got no centres. We need to emergency basis. We need to bring him up. and then he played pretty much the rest of the year at centre.
Mm.
That's how you get around a salary cap. They're doing the same thing with Chris Lewis and young Tonamapia. They're both on train and trial deals for 2023. They're brilliant.
Nice.
They know what they're doing. It's smart business. And the other move.
Have they bought anyone, mate? Because
Tariq.
I know Tariq, because they lost the Bromwich brothers and they lost the Cheese.
There you go. They've got Tariq, Sims, Alessi Katoa, the second row for the Warriors. Penne is back, and that one I mentioned, I think, on a recent Recruitment Whispers, Joe Chan, the son of Alex.
So who did they upgrade? Because in offloading the Bromwich brothers and the Cheese, there's about $1.5 million there.
They had to upgrade Jerome Hughes. They have to upgrade Pappenhausen. They had upgraded Munster. That's where the money's gone.
Okay.
So well done to them. Good work. Yeah. A couple of the last signing that's worth noting is that Matt Dory, the second rower for the Bulldogs, who's I think done his knee twice in the last 3 years, or definitely 2 major injuries, has joined Parramatta. So Gus lets him walk. And as you say, Gus lets you walk out of there. Then good luck to you. That's the recruitment number 6, Cocksmith. We've raced through a few things.
Is that everything? We're done at all?
I don't think there's anything else that is of note other than the Tigers fans. Get excited. Get on that $3.50 or whatever it is for the top 8 and waste your money.
Yeah. Hey, I did think of something last time we spoke when your flatmate, when we did our last 2 World Cup podcasts ago, your flatmate said Jerome Luai is very, very hard to like.
Yeah.
And I got to thinking about that, and I thought to myself, if you're a Penrith fan, you like him, right? Or a Samoa fan. But you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds was very, very hard to like as well, but the Bulldogs fan were in raptures over him.
Yeah. They get another chance, mate. He's back.
He's back at the Bulldogs on a train and what is a train and play or whatever.
Another Gus Gould white lie. Oh, he's not coming back to play for us.
Yeah, $1,000 a week, get him back. Jerome Hughes and Josh Reynolds very, very similar. Yeah. Although I think Jerome. Sorry, did I say Jerome Hughes? I meant Jerome Luai.
Yeah.
Luai has a little bit more class, I think, as far as a player goes, whereas Reynolds is a real grafting kind of a player. But yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting that Reynolds is back there.
And just for the record, actually, Flatmate's parents were North Sydney fans. And then when North Sydney went out of the competition, they had to pick a team. So they love Penrith. So he actually likes Penrith. He actually made the comment that if he's a Bulldogs fan, he won't like Penrith. He likes
Penrith, but doesn't like Luai.
Well, when I say likes, it's like he's not his team, but he doesn't hate Penrith. That's what I'm saying. All good. That's episode 275, everybody. We're glad to have your company. I've been Warrick Nicolson. That's been Robb Cox. We'll do more whispering probably next time, next week, I'd imagine. And enjoy the World Cup and the preview of that. So
it's going to really heat up, mate. In the next few weeks before we get to Christmas, there's going to be a bit of player movement. This is when it happens.
But just remember, Cocksmith, the RLPA keeps saying that players can't move at the end of the year. We can't have a dedicated transfer window, mate, because it's just so hard to pick up and move. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yep. No, I don't listen too much to them either.
All right, we'll speak to you next time on Not the Footy Show. Take us out, Cocksmith.
Catch you later, mate. See.
Not the Footy Show.
Done. Hey, Josh Reynolds, mate. I mean, do you remember what he did at the Tigers? Do you remember how many games he played for the Tigers? Can you just pull it up on rugby league?
Yeah. I reckon he was there for 3 years, wasn't he?
He was on $850,000 a year.
I reckon
this is a little bit like Mbai.
Over under 21 and a half games. I haven't looked yet.
Oh, geez. I was about to say he played 23 games.
Do you reckon over? I'm going to go unders.
I'd say under 21 and a half.
Oh, that wasn't bad. It's 22.
I said 23. You said 20.
I was completely guess.
Can you just do me a quick
20.
Just do me a quick favor. Hold on. Let's. I just want to amuse myself because I love doing this kind of stuff.
There's a stat.
850 times 3, $2.55 million. So let's go 2.5.
100 grand a game.
Million divided by 21, 22.
$100,000 a game.
$113,636 a game.
I think we just found our bonus segment on the Recruitment Whisperers.
There's one better though. There's one better.
Kieran
Foran.
At the Warriors.
How many games did he? No, Parramatta. How many games did he play for Parramatta?
Like 9, I thought.
Because he was on 900,000 a year.
My guess is 9. It's 9.
Is it 9? So he got less.
He played nine games for the Eels in 2016, and then he went to the Warriors in 17 and played 17. But here's the kicker on those stats. They won 6 from 3 at the Eels with 4 in there.
They won what?
They won 6 from 9 games. They were 6 and 3, 6 wins, 3 losses. Put him in the lineup
while he played.
And would you believe that at the Tigers, in the 22 games that Josh Reynolds played, they won 45% of the time. They had 10 wins and 12 losses. So as much as we might have a crack, both their records when they actually played, not atrocious. They just didn't play much.
Well, I don't think Josh Reynolds is that good.
Well,
let's be fair. 45%. I mean, if you're getting $850,000, you want to be winning more than 50% of your games.
He's a winner. He's a winner, old J-Ray.
Of course he's a winner. His bank account's a winner.
Not the Footy show.
You been sleeping over there?
Pepsi.